What's going on, everybody? It's Matt Marchese, also known as Islanders Daily, your daily news for the four-time Stanley Cup champions, New York Islanders. And as I've said in the last episode, preseason hockey for the Islanders has concluded, and it is time to focus up on the regular season, which will begin October 9th against the Pittsburgh Penguins for the New York Islanders. And as I was looking at my comments, somebody asked for the keys to the season for the Islanders and how they can potentially make the playoffs. So this is what this episode is going to be today. The Islanders' keys to the season to hopefully make the Stanley Cup playoffs. And honestly, I'm going to be honest. I don't see a world in where the Islanders are exactly a playoff team. I don't think they have the talent. I don't know if they can honestly make the playoffs. Everything is gonna need to go right, in my opinion, for the Islanders to make the playoffs. And for that world to happen, it might be ending. It might be ending. But we're going to go into the keys to make that world the perfect world for the Islanders to make the playoffs. So, to get things started, I've said it before, the Islanders need an improved special teams this season. Last year, they ranked 31st in both power play and penalty kill. And on the power play, they only had a 12.6% success rate on the power play, and on the penalty kill, a 72.2%. So they were 31st for both, and that is simply put pathetic. The Islanders had a pathetic power play and penalty kill, and it's a miracle they were even as good as they were last season with those stats on the power play and penalty kill. Because those are the things that make or break a hockey season, is your special teams. And the Islanders clearly allowed it to break for them last year, because if they just had a league average last year, they're probably in the playoffs. And I'm going to say it again. All the Islanders will need is a league average special teams. That's all we need. We just need that average special teams where it doesn't want us to bang our heads into the wall every time the power play gives up, a shorthanded opportunity and they have more, and the other team has more shots or stuff on their penalty kill. And that's just bad play by the Islanders. And through the preseason, it really has not looked like the Islanders have improved on those special teams. The power play still looked kind of weak. The penalty kill looked just as weak. Hopefully, it was just working out the kinks in, preseason hockey. And once the regular season starts, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a true, power play penalty kill. Obviously, the power play has no chance to be top 15 in the league, I think. And the penalty kill could be maybe top 15 if everything goes right. But the Islanders just don't have that talent that other teams have on their power plays. The Islanders do not have a true bona fide goal scorer who you can just set up on the power play and is going to rip them home. Hopefully somebody on the team can, break out into that role where they are the bona fide goal scorer. But as we know, a lot of our players are older, and it just makes it really, really difficult to get that going. It really does, and it's just tough. It's just tough because that's the biggest key, in my opinion, is just to have a league average power play and penalty kill, and you have an opportunity for the playoffs. But the Islanders, if it continues like how it did last year, and as we saw in the preseason, we could be in for a long season. Obviously, my second key is just going to be to stay healthy. The Islanders need to stay healthy if they want to have a chance for the playoffs. We saw last year we didn't have a backup goaltender, so it relied all on Sorokin. Barzal was injured. Duclair was injured. It was just a nightmare season all around for the Islanders with injuries. And it almost felt like once all those guys went injured, that was it. The season was done. We didn't have a backup goalie, so you had to rely on Sorokin for more games than you wanted to. Barzal is our best player, and he was out all year essentially with that injury on the knee. And Duclair, we talked about him, had that groin injury. The Islanders just could not stay healthy. And, Adam Pelech wasn't healthy. We got Tony DeAngelo late in the season. The Islanders just need to stay healthy. That is what we need for the New York Islanders. To stay healthy and have your whole team here where you don't have to do what you did last year where you have to go overseas to try and get Tony DeAngelo to come in. Although Tony DeAngelo, in my opinion, did work out for the Islanders, so that's a good sign. But, yeah, we just got to stay healthy. That's the key right there. We talked about special teams. We talked about this. If the Islanders are unable to keep their good players healthy, obviously there's freak accidents and stuff like that. But it relies on luck, and we need a little luck for our team to stay healthy. You might miss a game or two here and there, but we were missing way too many games last season, and that we can't afford that. The Islanders need to stay healthy for a chance to make the postseason. And finally, we need more goal scoring. The Islanders, I'm sure everybody's known that for a long time. Is this goal scoring is nearly non-existent for the New York Islanders. In the game in last season, we had 222 goals in the season. That's 27th in the league. You're not a playoff team like that unless your defense and goaltending are unbelievable. And last year, our defense was not that good. Our defense struggled. They gave up way too many grade A opportunities, and they made us pay. So the Islanders are going to need to find a way to put the puck more in the back of the net. And I don't know if that requires changing the system that Patrick Waugh has, but we need more goal scoring. And if the Islanders can't do that, it's going to be a long season again. It's going to be a long season if the Islanders can't do that. I mean, if you just look, our leading point getter last year was Bo Horvat. In 81 games, only had 57 points. We didn't even have a 60-point getter last season. How do you plan to make the playoffs when you can't even have a player hit over 60 points? It's not possible, really. It's not possible. You need somebody to hit over, 60 points. It's crazy to think about, Bo Horvat was the only person to even come close, and he was still 3 points off. And it's just so frustrating because obviously Horvat should easily be above a 60-point player. Kyle Palmieri, again, should easily be over a 55-point player. He only put up 48 points last year. So it's just so infuriating that the lack of offense the Islanders have and the lack of goal scoring. I feel like they pass up too many shots, and then when they should shoot, they pass it. It's like they just break down when there's an opportunity to score. So I don't know. The Islanders need more goal scoring, and they need to figure out a way to get that. And my final key to the season is just to believe. Just pray that the Islanders are able to have a good, healthy season and make the playoffs. Honestly, it's out of our control. It's all on the players and the coach. And let's hope that, they heard the outside noise and they want to go prove everybody wrong. And who knows, maybe they'll be able to do it. That would be the best possibility. Again, who knows how possible that truly is for the Islanders. But yeah, that's all we can do is believe and hope that the team is going to make the playoffs. Obviously, I think that hoping they would win the division is way out of range. I think we'll have to rely on for, that final wild card spot or the, one before that to have a chance. But if I'm looking in on the outside, I just don't see a world where the Islanders are able to make the playoffs. And I hope they make me eat my words. I really do. I hope I'm proven wrong. That would make me happier more than anything, really. But they're going to need everything to go in their favor to make the playoffs. The NHL is becoming a young man's game, and the Islanders are an old man's team. Obviously, we have some younger players here, but we're just going to see if the veterans can keep it up, which I know from looking at my comments here, not a lot of the fans do believe the veterans can keep it up, and we'll just have to believe. That's all we can do. But, in bad news, Cal Ritchie got injured in the last preseason game, so I don't know what that does for us. He might have had a chance to make the team, but due to that injury, loses it, which is so infuriating to me because I think Callum Ritchie deserves to be on this team. I've said it so many times, and if this injury keeps him off the team, I'm going to be so mad. I just don't see a world in where Casey Cizikas should be playing over Cal Ritchie, but hopefully that injury is nothing too serious and Cal Ritchie can get back and be on the team very quickly. And yeah, that's pretty much all. Those are my keys for the season for the Islanders to make the playoffs. It's pretty simple. Score goals, have an average power play and penalty kill, and stay healthy. That's all we need if the Islanders want to have a potential playoff season. Obviously, doing all those three things don't mean you will make the playoffs, but to make the step in the right direction, this is what the Islanders need to do. So if you guys have anything you want me to talk about in future videos, be sure to leave them in the comments below. And as always, let's go Islanders.